Brilliance Audio presents Lies We Keep by Danielle Rose, performed by Teddy Hamilton and Savannah Peachwood. I leaned against the window and stared at the busy streets below. From this elevation, the world consisted of grids, each square block perfectly aligned with the next, a rigid structure designed to keep everything in place. It reminded me of my current situation. I had signed with a new publisher who had requested I suddenly transform myself from a pantser, an organic writer who simply goes with the flow, to a plotter where everything is carefully laid out and planned. But my writing process wasn't like these seemingly perfect Manhattan streets. Much like my life, it was messy and often out of sequence. I'd told my new publisher I could do it. I could become the plotting fool they wished me to be. But that promise, like this view of Manhattan, was a lie. I took a swig of coffee from my to-go cup and smiled. I loved Manhattan. The people, the smells, the food, the shops. I had an explicit love affair with the city, and I wasn't afraid to admit it. There was a hum to it, a hustle and bustle seen nowhere else. 3 more for today, Tara said from across her office. Huh? I turned to face my best friend and literary agent as she glanced at the clock on the wall, her long black locks swaying as she frantically gathered paperwork. 3 more interviews, Jez. Right. I'd forgotten I'd asked her a question. Tara had set up a number of appointments to interview candidates for a position I'd never dreamed I'd have an opening for. A bodyguard. When I started writing romance novels, I didn't realize how drastically my life would change. The men I dated suddenly expected me to act like the porn star wannabes in my novels, and it became so annoying that it drained me to the point of celibacy. I wasn't proud of it, and I was even less proud of the number of batteries Mr. Dependable had gone through in recent months. But lack of sex wasn't the worst part. Fame came with other consequences, the kind celebrity magazines often showcased. My number of admirers was staggering, and many had professed a particularly worrying form of deep devotion. These stalkers could be grabby at times, but they were usually harmless. Usually. 2 years ago, my debut novel had been published to widespread acclaim. A year after that, it had reached Hollywood. 6 months ago, the letters began. And this wasn't ordinary fan mail. They were detailed accounts of what would happen if he and I ever met. He sent me drawings of women in submissive positions. And this wasn't your typical consensual spanking, hair-pulling, blindfolds, and handcuffs. The way he described his fantasies, the way he outlined the women in his drawings was unnerving. After reading the first threatening letter, Tara, and even the police, suggested I relocate far, far away. Plucking away on an antique typewriter on the front porch of a log cabin surrounded by acres of lakes and mountains was a trope movies used to beautify this industry. In my reality, being a writer was already a lonely, if not quite as picturesque, profession. I might be stubborn and stupid, but I wasn't about to leave Manhattan for any reason. Chances were, it's the only soulmate I'd find. I wasn't leaving it behind.